straight out of the Blood Gang crypto community. Welcome to the BloodCast. More than an hour of inspiring wisdom about the crypto world and more. Hosted by Yojimbo-san.
Hey everyone, welcome to the BloodCast episode 1 on Spotify. Today our guest will be Bloodseeker, who is crypto trader and administrator of Genesis Crypto Discord community.
Thanks for having me. I'm quite excited. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm very nervous, but
Man, relax. Like we talk almost every day, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So listen, how did you get involved with the crypto world and trading and stuff like this? Did you trade before, like stocks and
Yeah,
stuff?
so I'm one of the few who got dragged into stocks and crypto through the GMT bubble on Reddit, right? So I think it was early last year. So funny enough, I come from a marketing background, and one of our marketing strategies is to create communities on different social media platforms to kind of market our products. And one of the platforms we were doing research on was Reddit when I came across the GMT bubble. And I've always been interested in, like, investments and Wall Street and all that jazz, but I never got into it. And so when that happened, I was like, right, do you know what? It's time to kind of, dabble. So I started with GMT, and then, I just invested in a couple of stocks here and there, just to kind of get the feel of things. And it was boring. You invest and then you have to wait and pray to God, you've done the right thing. So I pulled everything out, and my mate, he is a very big XRP fanatic, right? Like,
you're not talking about me, right?
No. So my old housemate, he holds very big bags of XRP. And
Nice.
He's a strong believer on the technology, and that XRP is going to be the future of finance. But yeah, so he kind of brought me into crypto, and that was funny enough my first ever investment in crypto, XRP. I held a decent sized bag for a while, and then
I'm sorry, which year was it?
So it was beginning of last year, right before the crash.
Yeah.
So I bought the top.
Yeah. I think like every one of us.
Actually, funny enough, with XRP, I didn't quite buy the top, right? So when I bought, it was right before it had the first explosive wave, right? So I got in at an average of 0.6, so it wasn't too bad, right? So then it went up to, I think it was 0.8, and then the crash happened. So I wasn't hit too bad, but yeah, so I went down that rabbit hole, and then, I just kept looking at charts, and I was like, how do people make sense of this? And that's where the whole journey kind of began for me. And, since then, I've just kind of gone down this rabbit hole of, just charting and learning different things, and continuously trying to learn different tools which I can use to kind of, sharpen my edge. And that's brought me to where I am today.
Yeah, I understand. It's a funny thing because I actually started almost the same way, but it wasn't the XRP. It was actually Cardano. Yeah, I actually I heard about Bitcoin a long time ago, and the first thing when I heard about it, I thought it's a scam. It's not gonna last. It's a bubble. It's over.
Yeah.
And it was like, I believe it's 2013 or something like this.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about buy some Bitcoin and just put it in the wallet, but I never did it.
Yeah.
So later it was 2021, and I heard about Cardano, and I saw the Bitcoin is like 30,000 or something. And I said, whoa, crazy stuff. And the other guy, my friend actually told me about the Cardano, and he sent me the white paper, and I was reading about it, and I was like, whoa, this project is fucking cool. It looks like a future. So I bought Cardano for like, I think it was about $1,000 or something like this, and it was in mid of January. So
wow.
Yeah. But I hold through the crash because they were all saying that we are going to like $5 or $6 or something like this, and then it actually crashed. So I made a profit. I sold for like $2, so it was nice profit. Nice. But that's how my journey actually started. Then I started to learn actually the stuff with the trading, like technical analysis and stuff like this. But I think everyone started like this, someone chill it to someone some coin, and they just started with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and I think a lot of people kind of, especially after the May crash last year, a lot of people got affected a lot, and they decided to go and learn, like those who survived, they went and learned how to, look at charts and make proper investments, and they joined groups and stuff like that. And then some of them just gave up and, left crypto and investing completely. So, a lot of people who are still here now probably, are also still relatively new to like the current price action, including myself. But then there are some who just gave up, and call it quits.
Yeah, understand. Definitely. Yeah. So I had a thought. I just lost it. But I think the thing is with the people that new people that joining the crypto world and trading, it's almost 99%, almost everyone just make the same mistake like we all did. Instead, just listen to the guys that been in the game a long time, and just build this portfolio, or be in the game as long as you can to build your wealth. And but people don't listen. They think they will make money like bam, ready, right? It's not a sprint, guys. It's a fucking marathon. So just listen to the others, and you should be fine.
No, you're dead right.
Especially in the bear market, it's the bear market mostly. If you don't know how to trade, just don't do it. Just preserve your capital and just wait. Because in the bull market, everyone makes money. The guys that don't make the money actually don't know how to take profit, and that's all. Because they think like it will be like moon every time.
Exactly. No, you're dead right. And I think that's one of the biggest thing I learned, particularly myself, going actually now that I'm actually analyzing this kind of market price action. The biggest thing I learned from last month was being patient. Last month I recorded 5 trades, and the 5 trades I doubled my portfolio, but I waited for that 5 trades. Do you know what I mean? And it also comes down to, remember we talked about me backtesting this new system, and I only entered the trade when everything which I look at were in my direction, plus it reached my level of interest, and it matches to the theory of what I think in terms of market psychology and whatnot. And so the biggest thing was patience, I think, which I learned in the last 2 months. Less trades is more sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing with the patience during the trading is it's the place where most of the people fuck up. It's the most important thing, actually. Just to wait. Just
for
wait.
Sure.
Yeah. So and the thing about you mentioned your system, and this is what I want to talk about, and I think our listeners also want to talk, because this or your system is very unique. It's a lot of huge difference that I know and the others know. I think most of the people know that people are trading, right? So if you, you don't need to give secrets or stuff like this, but could you talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. So often of times what I do is I kind of first I zoom out from the chart, right? And I'll look at the weekly and daily and I'll be like, right, okay, what is a realistic area which could hold, right? Just from a pure technical standpoint, right? So you have your order blocks, you have your supply zones, and I mark them out and I'm like, okay, right. So if X amount of people, so then I try and once I identify those areas, I kind of be like, right, if X amount of traders are going to want to bid here, there's a very high probability that a market maker would know that and he would try to run the stops or create somewhat of deviation if that is actually per se the bottom, right? Because then they're going to say it's over and then they're going to close their trade and then the market full reverse in whichever direction, right? So once I kind of create these scenarios, then what I do is I spend a lot of time watching how different bidding patterns happen on one place is AGGR and another one is just on order books, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of time like people misinterpret and misunderstand how order books work, right? They just look at it and they're like, oh, look, there's a solid support here. All right, I'm going to put my entry there and my stop loss under, right? And I think that's the biggest mistake. I've done that in the past. And a really good person who looks at this from a liquidity standpoint, which I do follow, is Chimzu. And it kind of made me realize, okay, look, there's more to order books than that. So from there, like I'll look at, right, so everyone is putting their bids at a certain area and I'll kind of co-reflect it to, the order books liquidity spread and see, right, which side does it favor, right? So at the current standpoint, right, there's more evenly spread out bids to the upside, right? So meaning people wanting to distribute stuff they accumulated at sub 36, right? From the standpoint. So that's kind of where I kind of create a system of levels I'm interested in. And then there's a few other data which I look at, just like long short ratio, options expiry is another one, just to kind of give confluence in terms of like, max pain scenarios. And if per se I was a market maker, what kind of levels would I look at for me to scale out of a long or short, if that makes sense?
Definitely. Yeah.
So, and then from there, I look at pure market psychology. So I'll give you a perfect example of what we just had recently, right? Because we had a rally on Bitcoin from what I think it was 38K up to 48K. Yeah. And
just a second. I will just say to our listeners, just open the chart, guys, and BTC, and just look at it at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right? So a psychological level, which everyone talked about from the last year, was 40K, right? They were like, right, 40K needs to hold, 40K needs to hold, right? But then when we broke 40K due to global affairs and, the current economy status, everyone was like, right, it's over, right? But even with everything said and done, we didn't break below 32K and close below 35K on a day, right? Which means that there is interest, there is demand, right? People just keep saying like, oh, it's over. But like, if it's over, why are we still trading at 39K right now? Do you know what I mean? Like we should be sub 30K, close to 25. We've been in a downtrend.
I think everyone was waiting for this, sub 30.
Exactly my point. When everyone wants something, they're not going to get it. And if they get it, they're not going to bid it. That's the problem.
That's the problem, because people are actually looking at the, let's say, this 30K level, the price goes there and they do nothing. They do nothing.
They'll be like, oh, let's wait for bottom to form, right? And then they refer back to the past of how the previous bottom was formed with the tree tap and the candle closed below the wick, and they were like, oh, that's the bottom. But let me ask you, 85% of traders didn't bid that bottom. The 15% who bid it is the ones who are bidding now. Right. Yeah. So anyways, right, we'll get back to the chart, right? So we were sitting at about 37K for a good long time, right? And I was net long, right, on Bitcoin, right? So I only trade Bitcoin and Ethereum at the moment. Sometimes I trade alts.
Makes sense.
So I was long on Bitcoin from 37 because on the 4 hour, it gave me my 4 hour confirmation, right? So I took the long. Data point showed me that, look, a move up to at least 46 was definitely on the table, right? 44 to 46, right? And so I held that long, right? I held it all the way up to 44. And I usually, what I do is I add on the way up to my winning trades. I don't add on the way down. I cut the losers and I add to the winners, right? Which I think a lot of people don't do, right? They like to add to losers and they don't add to the winners, which I think
that's a big mistake, actually. Yeah,
it is, right?
It is.
So I usually trade weekly and daily. Sorry, weekly, 3 days and daily. But to kind of look for where to add, I usually switch to like the 4 hour or 1 hour, like the micro movements, to kind of like, you know, throw in a few bids here and then increase my position size, right? And then once I start seeing weakness and people getting bullish, that's when I scale out of my longs and I start looking for shorts, right? So I was long 37 to about 45, 46, right? And then at about 47, 48, I was looking for shorts, right? And this is where the whole psychology aspect of it came, because the whole year since January, every person on Twitter was like, oh, once we reclaim 46, I'm going to turn bullish, right? But if you look at the chart, that was 30% from the lows of 37, right? So if you're trading, let's say if you're trading a normal market condition, right? After 30% pump, you expect a pullback for a cool down, right? But they expected that 3% drop to be like 3% drop to be enough. So I knew that we were going to slice right through and head down to at least about 40K, right? So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you saw this, I posted it, but I was actually net short from 47K all the way down to 38.5.
Nice.
Yeah. So and then everyone was like, oh, it's over again. So I closed my short and I took a long 38.5 to 42.5. You know, so it's just the whole market psychology where I kind of use that just in line with the data I see, right? And that's kind of the system where I'm at. But like there's a few other things which I look at also, which is a bit more complex.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So actually, it looks like you're trading opposite way that most of traders do. You know,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I can see why you think why you said it's. When people said that if the Bitcoin price will, close above the 46K, everyone will turn bullish and everyone will just long, and that was actually the top. I mean, the top was 48, right? But nonetheless, it's just the range high of the range, right? 46.
For sure.
The candles closed above 46, and then it dropped to like.
Exactly.
We are at the 39 now. So
Exactly. So, and if even that, right, after the drop, so we had what, a 20% drop here from range high 48, 18% drop. And then we had another 8% drop here from 43K. And even that still, bro, we are sitting above 38K. We are closing candles above 38. We can't seem to break 38, 37.5. And okay, we talk about correlation a lot. We talk about
correlation with the stocks and S&P, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, don't get me wrong. I believe there is a certain amount of correlation, and the correlation is emotions, right?
Yes, that's correct, because I'm not sure if you understood me correctly, but there is a correlation, but not on the same level that people think. It's just only emotions of the market.
Exactly.
And because people. Yeah, just go.
No, go on, bro.
So because people actually think if S&P is dumping, right? So Bitcoin will follow.
Yeah.
And they just open shorts, and that's because of that.
That is
Bitcoin is dropping, right?
That's exactly it.
But the smart money is looking for longs. Then they are building the longs.
Okay, I'll tell you this, right? Smart money have been building longs, and this is another one of my really, really big things in my system is watching the bidding patterns, right? And I think 80% of experienced crypto traders are saying to sell and walk away in May, right? Because May is when the crash happened. That's when most traders go away, right? And people don't look at contracts as much. And I think we were talking about this before. And the bidding patterns on contracts for the next quarter is actually bullish, right? So I spend a lot of my weekends just watching this, right? I have it opened on my screen and I'll just watch the bidding across the board. And from what I've seen, so 2 weeks ago, right, before we had the pullback from 47K, right, the new weekly contracts were bearish, right? Everyone was buying puts, right? Whereas this weekend, so far from what I've seen, most people have gone with buying calls for the new quarter. Right, so they're expecting bullish price action, right? And then we talked about this yesterday, the pricing in, right? The pricing in of rate hikes coming in May, right? Which was the past few days sell-off plus the S&P. And you're absolutely right. And I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. And I know this is probably going to be posted a few days down the road or a few weeks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we close this weekly candle absolutely bullish and we have an insane like $3,000, $4,000 candle on Bitcoin today or tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised at all. From what I'm watching, bro, like if this pops, it's gonna pop hard, right?
Yeah, definitely. But the funny thing about the price that when you said that it's priced in, it's because I don't like to fade the Fed, and they are saying I get the point, but they are saying in May and June, probably the rates will rise like 50 BPS. So
for sure,
so it's a lot, but usually it's like with the indicators, they are fucking lagging. So actually the price could be already there.
So let me clarify my statement about priced in. Big boys have priced it in, right? Big boys have been pricing it since November, right? Since November, big boys have been pricing all this in, right? Now,
you really think that?
Oh, bro, for sure. You see the sell-off, right? Because
yeah, I can see that actually.
You see the sell-off plus the plus over leverage longs, which cost us to the price we were at, right? I don't know if you saw the small write-up I did today on the group, but big boys have been selling off, right? And I think they knew that they definitely know all this beforehand, right? So, which is why they allowed another mini rally so that they can, slowly distribute again at higher prices, right? And that's what I watched anyways, and that's what I think, and that's the theory I'm going to go with, right? So what does that mean, right? What that means is essentially like if the big boys have de-risked, right, and they're priced in, who's then going to be left to de-risk, right? It's just going to be retail traders who are going to trade emotionally, who are currently holding price down because they are, the Fed this, the Fed that, right? Because big boys wouldn't wait till the implementation of something. They would have gone risk off already. Let's be real. They are smart money for a reason. They won't wait till the last minute, right?
I hope you're right.
let's look at it from a logical standpoint, right? If you are smart money with billions of dollars with assets, right? You definitely have some way of getting information prior to this. I know this is very controversial at this point, right? But we don't live in a prim and proper all rainbows world, right? So in that sense, I would say like the past few sell-offs were by them, right? And let's disregard this psychological standpoint and that whole controversial part of it. Just look at the chart on the daily, right? Look at the candles. What does it tell you? It was pure sell pressure.
Right? Yeah, it was definitely. And I get your point. I mean, if I would have like millions, billions, and I see, I open the chart, and I see like from the November till January or something like this, it's a 50% drop. Actually, that's a fucking lot, So it's like I don't like to use the word discount, but it is. You're buying half price.
Look, I've been buying since 35,000. Right, I have screenshots to show you later if you want. But like when people were panicking about the invasion of Russia into Ukraine and that Bitcoin was going to go to zero, I was like, right, this is exactly the bottom. So I bought 35,000. I bought Bitcoin at like 35,000. I bought Ethereum at like 2,300, I think 2,360 or something like that. And at the moment as we speak, I'm swing long on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm targeting about 48, 50K on Bitcoin possibly, and Ethereum about 3,600.
Okay, nice.
But I get your point and I get what you're saying, right? But at the end of the day, this is a theory which is very controversial. At the end of the day, the exchanges won't let it go lights out, right? Because why? What has COVID brought? COVID has brought a new wave of money into the market, right?
Definitely.
Over-leveraged traders and inexperienced traders without an edge, or new traders who are still very new, who long and short and just pray to God, right? And my theory is that regardless of what happens, they are going to make sure that the casino stays open because they make money from this, right? From the fees, from you losing trades, from you getting liquidated. That's how they make money, right? And if they allow that to go into a state of, a ghost town where there is no retail traders left to chop up, they are not going to make money. Right? So my theory is regardless what it is, right, we won't get lights out on crypto, right? It's just cause it's the only 24/7 market. It's one of the easiest market to get into and open an account and just trade, right? It's the easiest market to kind of just get a grasp and like get a lot of information on in comparison to traditional markets, which need a bit more work, and the interfaces are also user-friendly that it is enticing to new traders. So if I was a owner of an exchange, I wouldn't let it go lights out because I want people gambling.
I fully understand.
Right? So my theory is that yes, we can still go to 36K, 35K, 34K, 33K, 32K. Most definitely, right? But at this point of time, everything favors the up move, right? There's more money on the table for them to pump it up by 20 to 30%, liquidate shorts, slow drop down, trap longs, and then sell off for cascade, right? And then we would be able to get that low price of what everyone is talking about. Now, unless they start like Armageddon and do a massive sell-off, I don't see it happening.
Capitulation. Yeah, I understand this.
I don't see it happening. Right?
I get where you're going with this. It just let's say I'm new trader, and I learn a little bit technical analysis and pattern and stuff like this. After a huge sell-off, you see this this pattern now, right? It's not bullish, but maybe that's what everyone is looking at now, right? So I get your point. I get your point. Everyone will be bearish now, some kind of panic sell or something like this. But actually, I could see smart money buying.
They are buying. They are buying. They are accumulating on spot.
Yeah, it looks like accumulation, but we just need the. I love this word, manipulation.
Okay. So, like from what I've noted, right? I get the manipulation part, right? And I strongly believe we are at that at the moment, right? Because
Really?
why? I think so, right? Because everyone says 40K is the psychological level, right? We have closed 2 dailies under 40K, right? Which means what? Everyone is shorting, right? Because if you pull up Bitcoin chart, right? I'm going to pull up mine here just to kind of phrase it out to you. And if you I think 90% of people would have the mid-range between 41.6 to 40,037, right? As their mid-range, right? Basically where we had the bottom before the rally to all-time high. Right? So we've lost that level on the daily, right? If you are looking at the order block standpoint and whatnot, right? So everyone is shorting here, right? So I strongly believe that this is the manipulation part. And if you look at it on the daily, that's a perfect 3 tap with a deviation under the lows, which would be obviously to trap shorts before the move up.
Yeah, right? I could see that. I could see that. Definitely see that. Yeah.
And also on the low time frame, if we check the 15-minute chart, right? We had a very clear, massive sell-off plus a mini liquidation cascade from yesterday. A small range of like either accumulation or distribution up there, right? And then another small sell-off, which I think now we are in that range of manipulation before the move up. Honestly, that's what I think. So I know everyone is waiting for this massive manipulation down to 36K, 35K. Not saying it can't happen. It can, right? And if
everything can happen in crypto,
exactly, exactly. Anything can happen. Don't rule it out. But honestly, I think if we reach those levels, a lot of people will close out their shorts, and there won't be enough shorts trapped for the move up.
Okay, I get the point.
You know, because a lot of people are shorting here, the deviation, targeting that levels 37.5, 36.5, and 32. So I don't know. I could be very wrong. And I know a lot of people are waiting to kind of bid lower. But to me, you know what? It may come, it may never come. What I'm happy to do is start scaling in from here. And if it goes down there, I'll bid hard, you know? And if it doesn't, I'll add on the way up.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Something broke. Yeah. What the hell?
I was like, okay, did I say something wrong?
No, I'm here all the time. I thought you'd lost connection or something. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So like, you know, it's so essentially the style of the system, bro, in a nutshell, it's a lot about market psychology, right? It's about if we are in a current state where it's pure manipulation and it's all about, you know, chopping up traders before they go, then this is the perfect time to kind of be, I'm not going to say counter trade, but try and analyze where people would want to enter and not enter there and take the more slightly aggressive trades because they would have a better risk reward ratio, right? And let's put it this way. Touch wood, 37.9 is the bottom and we start our rally, right? And if you bid here, right, your invalidation is what? Maybe 10% drop, right? You're losing 10%. right? Now, if you're right, you have an upside of about 20, 30, 40, 50%.
Mm.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So if you're a trader, these are levels you want to kind of be betting on, essentially. Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, of course, it's different if you're a level by level or you're an intraday trader. Now, I'm a pure swing trader. Spend few days to build a trade, hold the trade for a few weeks if I have to. And I take profits on the way up and I add on the way up. And when I see a certain level, which it starts looking weak and data doesn't look good, I scale out and I sit on my hands until the next trade comes. And I strongly believe this is the next one now, which I'm sitting on. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's a fun thing. Why people are hating level to level traders? I just don't understand this.
I don't hate it, right?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah.
I'll tell you from a psychological standpoint. I'm actually a very impatient person, right? Funny, right? As a swing trader, I'm actually a very impatient person, right? So intraday trades and level by level trades does not suit me because you have to wait for your entry on the bounce and then and then you just take profits at your target, right? So I prefer being in a trade and watch the trade, like slowly build the trade. Now you see it doesn't make sense because I'm impatient, right? But for some reason, like I would rather sit in the trade and have a 20% move than sit in the trade and have a 2% move.
I get the point.
And now I'll tell you this much. Taking swing trades on leverage is not easy. Now to all the listeners out there, like it's easy, but it's also not, right? Because often of times you you're on the right track, your thesis is right, but you just get you're too fidgety and you just want to constantly do something. And the biggest thing about the system, particularly I was telling you about, bro, it's trading on the offside of 90% of the market. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. It's not easy. Do you know?
No, definitely not. But it's an edge. You have an edge.
It's a very, and that's why I've been very quiet about it up till now, because I've just been back testing and I've been making sure that I'm not just being a complete idiot about it. And look, the results speak for itself, bro. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. Like I took an L this week. Yesterday I took an L. I kind of scaled into the trade too early, which I usually don't. I started scaling it at the accumulation part as opposed to the manipulation part, and that was just trying to be smart, and I still make mistakes. But I took a step back. I went for a walk. I came back, reevaluated everything. I looked at it. I was like, right, this is the trade. This is where I scale in. And I started. And then this morning I woke up. I looked at Ethereum chart. I was like, right, Bitcoin is in profits. Let's scale into Ethereum. And so that's kind of my quota, 2 trades at once. And I won't go anything more than that. So it takes a lot of mental capacity, to be honest with you. It's not easy.
No, definitely not. And the thing that you said, it's very important. You need to look at your mistakes and just evaluate them. It's a very important thing as a trader. Because if you don't take experience lessons from the mistakes that you made, you're not gonna be consistent. You're not gonna be a good trader. Just will make them all the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's why often of times I like to have chats with other traders and be like, right, tell me what you see. And it's not because I want to counter trade or anything. Like I'm genuinely interested because what I've found is like, even though I have a very different style of, looking at where I want to enter a trade and, building a position and whatnot, often of times there's a lot of confluence between the different styles, right? But it's just sticking true to that beliefs of like not letting the environment influence your trading becomes the biggest factor, right? Because I can tell you this, I would go to probably say 6 traders now and talk to them, oh look, what's your perspective of Bitcoin? And they'll be like, oh, probably from a technical standpoint, a bounce to 44K before any further downside, right? Most of them would tell you that, but they're like, yeah, I don't see it happening though, because of what's happening. So they're starting to trade the news, the global economy, they're trading everything, right? So that's where like it becomes very hard, and you have to really have a strong belief in what, in your thesis.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like, when everyone was looking at longs at 47K, I was shorting, and it's hard when people like, some really good traders, who've done some serious trades are looking longs, and you are kind of net short on the market, and it's not easy.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and I'm not the kind who'll try like, I get it right, I'll go and rub it in your face. I might joke about it, but I won't rub it in your face, because I'll be like, look, this is what I saw, and that's why I took it. It wasn't to try and joke around and counter trade you or anything, but it was just so like, we're all not losing money, because we all have the same goal, to make money.
Yeah, definitely. I think most of us traders, we are here actually to make money. There isn't. I'm not sure if there is a lot of people that it's in for the tech.
Yeah.
It's definitely there are some, but I think it's like 10% maybe or something like this.
Exactly.
But I was thinking maybe let's put trading a little bit to the side for now, and because I have a question for you. What you are most excited about in 2021 if it comes to crypto?
2020.
22. I'm sorry, 22.
Besides crypto or in crypto?
I was thinking mostly about the crypto, but let's go. It's open.
Okay.
It's open.
Well,
just go.
So I have a personal goal I've set for myself, right? And so I trade CoinM, right? So basically using Bitcoin as collateral. And my goal is I've set a certain amount of CoinM I want to accumulate / trade in profits by the end of the year, right? So my goal is to have at least X amount. I'm not going to disclose it until I've reached it. I won't disclose it on the podcast, but I'll text it to you after this, right?
Sure, man. I'm just going to leak it, man.
Right, look.
Just kidding.
So I have an X amount which I want to accumulate by the end of the year. And also, I don't hold any spot at the moment besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I also use to trade. So I'm looking at a few projects which I slowly want to start scaling in, because I think this is a really great opportunity at the moment. But for the meantime, I'm focusing on the majors like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I'm going to continuously scale into them. And a really great trader I know, his name is Rego. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yep.
He gave a very good piece of advice. He was like, often of times people want to invest a whole lump sum of money and turn it into millions overnight. But people forget the power of passive investment. So you invest X amount on a weekly basis. And this is a really good advice to all the listeners out there. So say you allocate yourself $50 a week, right? Invest it in a project, regardless of the price. So every week you take aside and put a certain amount, right? So naturally you dollar cost average, but always have an exit plan, right? Always have a game plan. So say, for example, if I was to invest in XRP now for the next 1 year and I'm putting in $100 a day, right? That's 365,000, no, 36,500 per year. I've put in, right? And my average price is 0.6, right? Make sure you have a plan. Okay, at $1, I'm going to take 25% out. At 1.2, I'm going to take 30% out. So if the market crashes, you've taken out money which you can now reinvest, plus you'll still be in profits, right? Have a plan.
Yeah, so, that's very important. You know, you guys, it's very important to have a plan. It's yeah. Without the plan, it just stop trading, please.
Yeah, have a plan because
without the plan, you're just gambling, guys. You know,
exactly.
Just gambling.
That's it. Don't get me wrong. Regardless what it is, trading is gambling, right? Trading is gambling. And no one can convince me otherwise, right? You have no arguments which will win this case, right? The only difference is you have your risk managed and you have an edge or you don't have an edge. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
And so the reason why I say have a plan, I actually have a friend. She holds a good amount of Ethereum, right? And right before the crash, I told her, look, the recent crash we had in November, I was like, look, now might be a really good point to at least take your initial investment out or your profit and leave your investment there, because there's a chance we might crash. And if we do, you can buy back and increase your holdings and, you know, ride the rally up again. And she didn't do that, right? And now she's looking long term, right? But I told her, look, it is a good point to take profit. And about 5 times I told her, look, make a plan, right? Where you want to take profits and follow the plan, right? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. She never did it. And now she's bag holding. Now, don't get me wrong. She's still in profits, right? Her average entry is pretty low, right? I think her average entry is about sub 2,500. For Ethereum. So she's been accumulating. So she does the monthly thing where she buys a certain amount of crypto, right? So but she was like up 10K. Do you know what I mean? So like people overlook the power of passive investment. People just want to invest all at once, and you know. So the goal this year is to kind of trade a certain amount of Bitcoin in profit and then also invest a certain amount and accumulate a certain amount of Bitcoin, which I do plan to hold for a good few years. But I mean, good few years, once it reaches my price range, I'll probably put it all and open a big fat shot on it, you know? Yeah, so I have a 2-year plan for Bitcoin, which I think might happen based on psychology and everything. But yeah, so that's the plan anyways for this year. But yeah, in real life, I have a few things going on. You know yourself, with Genesis, we have that a lot of big things coming. So been really busy with that.
Genesis Crypto. That's that group. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different group than I've been in, you know, and I really like that. And you guys started with the magazine, you know. I think it's John, right?
Yes.
Was it John?
Right.
Yeah.
John.
I advise, or I want to invite all our listeners to check this magazine. It's a Genesis Crypto magazine.
Yeah,
you can find it on Twitter and just read it. It's like a lot of information there, guys. A lot. Just go through it, and you will be amazed.
Yeah, he's amazing, man. John is our editor. He's really good with doing research and doing a write-up on the whole overall crypto space, and he's really good with fundamental analysis. He's very big into privacy coins, so Monero and all that. So so he writes the magazines, and he puts in a lot of really nice pieces in there with a lot of information, which is beneficial to new traders and also traders who've been been in the game for a while now, and we have a few people we're trying to get on to the magazine in the coming months, which is going to be very beneficial. We recently had Fractals, who's relatively well-known PA trader.
That's a good trade. He's a good trader. Yeah, I think most of our listeners know him. Very, very good trader.
Yeah, he is. He's great. So we had him on the magazine last month. I'm not sure who we have in line for this month, but I know we have someone planned for this month. But yeah, no. So Genesis Crypto, like you said, man, like there's a lot of different crypto groups out there, and a lot of them are just, oh, come and join, get signals, blah, blah, blah. That's not what we are about. And that's not what we try to be. We're trying to create a community where everyone shares their ideas, people learn, there are people who have capital who want to invest, but they don't know where to invest. People who have capital who want to learn how to, to plan a trade, as opposed to just blindly ape into something.
To be a better traders, it's like, the Genesis Crypto Group is like a place where it's like school, for the traders. You go much there and learn this stuff, and it's a lot of a huge difference to the other groups.
And that's what we try to do. Like, we don't want to be a signal group. We don't want to be, oh, come join us and get rich. No, we want everyone to be able to, look at a chart and be like, okay, right, that makes sense why you're taking the trade there, but why won't you do it this way? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's why I like to have that conversations. I spend a lot of time in the general, like the chart areas, because like we kind of established, I have a different style of trading than a lot of the basic technical analysis and technical traders. So like, I like to try and see like, okay, why are they taking this trade? Why would I take it differently? So yeah, no, it's great. And we're trying to create that community where it feels okay to not know, and for you to post your charts and be like, hey guys, can you help me with this? It's because there is no right and wrong. There isn't.
No, definitely. It's a very good place to learn, very good place. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to compare the BloodCast group, Discord community, because it's different. It's different. This community is built. We are trying to build this community for actually every kind of people, not only traders. It's more like a community of the crypto world, and the people can just hang out there, talk. They can learn a lot of stuff there, and they are preparing. Actually, there will be tests soon with the trading league, so you can trade there, and there will be prize pools and stuff like this. But actually, it's a part of actually learning, and the community got also a market analyst. I think 3 of them. So it's also a really nice place to hang out. So, yeah. Okay. Definitely. So you guys should definitely check out the Genesis Crypto magazine and the Genesis guys. You can find them on Twitter, and actually, you guys got a website that's called Genesis Crypto, right?
Yeah, Genesis Crypto VIP. So genesiscrypto.vip. So that's our website.
If you guys want, just check them out.
And nice you can subscribe to our newsletter, which then every month we will send the new magazine out to you. And we also have a newsletter starting today. Actually, we're sending out our first newsletter within the next couple of hours. And then if not, you can always follow us on Twitter at Genesis Crypto. Genesis Crypto GC, or you can always follow me on Twitter.
Yeah, I was thinking about to share your actually Twitter, but you are most of or kind of low key profile on the
I am.
on the crypto. You
I
rather
am.
actually it's just me that I had this thing in my head that you actually want to be like low key there and doesn't want to stick out too much or stuff like this. But if you guys want to follow him, just let's go.
Well, look, you see, the thing is, look, I am in crypto. I am on crypto Twitter, but I'm not going to go there and post charts, right? So that's why I keep it low key and I just troll and I just talk to people. You know, I just find it more engaging. I think crypto Twitter has become very aggressive, bears versus bulls. You know, people saying, "Oh no, you're wrong. We're going to 25K. Oh no, you're wrong. We're going to 100K." So I think there's enough of that in the space. So there's no need for me to try and put myself into that. You know, I have enough problems counter trading the market as it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I
So
understand.
look, feel free to follow me, brownboy_boy. That's my Twitter handle, but you're not gonna find anything useful in there. Trust me. You'll just
Yeah, I understand.
find me tagging your Jimbo in silly memes and yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly memes, guys. It's nothing.
Literally, that's all I do. I just ask him where are the bulls and where are the bears.
In the house. Yeah, definitely. But let's put the jokes on the side. That I got a question because
yes,
I'm not sure if a lot of people know. I hope so. But this year and actually last year, there is the adoption of the crypto is huge. It's around the world. You know, it's and I was wondering what's your take on it. You know, how do you see it? How do you see crypto in next 5 years?
okay. It's funny you asked me this, right? Because it also buys into my thesis of we are in a huge manipulation, right? I don't know if you saw my market analysis this morning.
No, not really.
Yeah. So check it out. I'll share the link with you after this, right? I did a small market analysis where I said, look, essentially in the past 460 odd days, we've been in a macro range, right? We have been. So 30K being your bottom and then your top being around 60 to 69 essentially, right? So, and with that range, we've had a lot of like bullish positive news towards crypto, Bitcoin, digital currencies, whatever you want to call it, right? But we haven't broken out and done a crazy bull run, right? What does that tell you from a technical standpoint? From a technical standpoint, there must be some huge accumulation going on somewhere before they allow prices to go skyrocket. Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin amount is limited.
It is.
Right? So if big boys are accumulating, whales are accumulating, and the guys are also accumulating to manipulate. So tell me, how are we going to go to zero? Right? How is it over? Do you know what I mean?
Technically, it's impossible. But speaking of limited Bitcoin amount, it's because Bitcoin it's a code, right? And actually, it is possible to change the code. I read this article about it, but you know, it's not like Bitcoin is controlled by one entity or one person. Stuff like this, if we want to change the code, everyone needs to or have to agree on this. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Definitely not gonna happen. But yeah.
So
Yeah.
in regards to your question, I think there is a lot of positive implications towards the crypto space, right? The markets in general, right? What the future holds for us, I don't know, because it's going to be very hard for them to pinpoint one particular crypto project or token, which would be, the moving stone, the step forward for financial systems, right? Now, no doubt crypto is already being used for mega transactions because of, the processing time, the lower fees, and the security of it. Right. And the fact that a lot of countries are starting to adopt Bitcoin as legal tendencies and legal currencies for transactions and whatnot, it is really positive and bullish, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And we shouldn't forget that despite the regulations and stuff like this that came in the news, there is also a lot of governments and other institutions and stuff like this that want to adjust the regulations to the crypto world.
Exactly.
So that's a fucking huge, and it's massive, and it's not that like in the first page news. They are just on the side that nobody sees.
Why?
But yes, that's the fucking question. Why is that? Why is that?
Because they don't want to create the hype so they can accumulate.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, and I mean, if you are in the crypto world and you're trading, I'm not speaking to the people now that want to make money overnight or something like this, but actually if you really believe in this, and I mean I think a lot of people do, right, and the investors, institutions, governments and stuff like this, if you just buy like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, so in few years it will be huge anyway.
Definitely. So and this is why I was just about to make a point there. I think the world implications and applications of Bitcoin or crypto shouldn't bother you as a trader for intraday or swing trades. Now, if you're an investor, this is where this should tickle you, because this should make you horny, right? Because you know that big governments are getting it. So this is the time you want, at prices this low, right? You want to be continuously buying and accumulating your stack, right? Because one day it's going to be like, look at this, right? 10 years ago, it was what was the price 10 years ago?
I don't know, like fucking $100.
Exactly. And some of my friends bought, and I was like, yeah, go away, leave me alone, right? And so if you're an investor, you want to continuously invest, right? But always have an exit plan, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And make sure your exit plan, this, I think you've seen me say this a lot, take profits according to your greed, right? And that's one thing I do. The moment I share my P&L, that's when I take profits, because I'm getting euphoric, right? And often of times I'm correct, because instantly there's a reversal, right? So feed your greed, right? So that's as a swing trader. Now, if you're looking at investment standpoint, man, the future of crypto is, we are now in the adaptation stage, right? Some of y'all were here at the early stages. Now we're at the adaptation stage, and it's just going to go crazy. I really think. Now, I think once we survive this bear market, the strong tokens would present itself on a silver platter in front of you. And so obviously you have your majors like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then you'll have the strong alternative coins which will present itself in front of you, stuff like Luna and Solana and AVAX. So now this is not financial advice.
No, definitely no, because the coins come and go. So
exactly,
because like you said, we are in the adoption phase, and next year it will be new coins better than Solana maybe, and Avex,
All
stuff
jokes
like this.
aside,
Just
all
jokes
jokes
aside,
aside,
you know.
I am actually fairly optimistic about XRP.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, why the fuck this case started? You know, the lawsuit.
Think about it.
I just don't understand. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You know, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. And
it makes complete sense.
I mean, in the opposite way, yeah, definitely, yeah. But
oh man, like it makes complete sense. Do you not agree?
Yeah, just elaborate on this one.
Okay, so let's look at XRP, right? What are their fundamentals? What are they known for? They are predicted to be the future of the financial system in terms of how transactions are going to be made at such a low fees, high processing price. Low processing fees at a high transaction rate. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So if the future is so promising for XRP to be the next financial, the biggest thing in financial industry breakthrough, right? Who do you think wants to accumulate the most of it?
I think the answer is easy.
It's clear, right?
Yeah, it's clear.
So then who instigates a case against the against Ripple, essentially Ripple Foundation, the SEC, right? So they prolong the case as long as they can to make sure that, you know, they're trying to push. If you look at all the law cases, they're trying to push for a settlement, right? That's what they're aiming for, right? They're aiming for a settlement, right? And trust me, they are probably trying to get a settlement in payment of XRP. Right, so it's a huge conspiracy, and I'm not one for conspiracies, right? But like I just like to think about, like, you know, what ifs, and this is a very big possibility. Now, you know, it will always be a speculation, it will always be a case of what ifs, but like if you try and connect the dots in terms of what it is and what's going on and try and put the pieces of the puzzle together, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
You're like Alex Jones, you know. You need the tinfoil hat.
No, look,
but I fully agree on this one with you. And because it's also funny, maybe not funny, but this year the ISO project is rolling out, right? So the banks and the government, mostly the banks, central banks, will the SWIFT code. I mean, the SWIFT code will be replaced or removed actually, and in 2020, I think it 2020, there was a leak of the project actually of the roadmap of the ISO project, and it was 2020, the year 2020, and that's the same year that the SEC case started against the Ripple. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, look, man, like it all lines up, right? And I'm gonna this is to all the viewers, right? Now, whatever you read online, whatever people tell you in the crypto space, and whatever news you see. Now, I'm a journalist by trade, right? I'm a qualified journalist, and I don't trust the news, right? And the reason why I don't trust it is because they tell you what they want you to hear, right? As opposed to what is actually happening. And so what I'm going to say is also, it reflects back to crypto in the sense that always do your own research. And if something seems fishy, it probably is fishy. Connect the dots, try and paint the bigger picture, and then believe in your thesis, right? With conviction, and take your trade accordingly, right? And this is going to be the hardest part. Block out the noise. That's going to be almost impossible to do. But you saw how hard it was for me the other day when we were at 38K and I kept calling that we were going to go up, and everyone was like, no, we're going to go down. Like, do you know how hard that was? But it's one of those things you need to believe in in whatever research you do. Now, it could be wrong, and if you're proven wrong, admit you're wrong. Don't be a prick.
Don't be a prick. Yeah, definitely. And guys, this is actually a very good advice that he said, because you as traders, you should always stick to your plan and just mute the noise. Just forget about everyone. Forget about Twitter. Mostly, just fucking counter trade them, and you should be fine.
Yeah,
definitely, guys.
I'm serious don't counter trade me. Just don't counter trade me, because I'm already counter trading them.
yeah, that's right. And just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, we are not shilling XRP here. Ripple, it's not a buy signal. It could just die. I don't think so, but you never know how it will be. Because Ripple is actually against the government, so
it is.
This fight could be, could end on the both ends.
To be honest, I don't think it is, because there have been talks about. So basically, it's very simple. Now, again, not trying to shill XRP. I do not own any XRP. I sold all my bags. I do not own spot besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right. Mm-hmm. So, oh look, my trade is going well.
Can we focus on the podcast, man?
Yeah. Oh man, like I always have AGGR on my trade open on the screen next to me. Like I'm one of those, like I will watch my trade until it's at least 2 to 3% away from my entry before I would stop monitoring it. Yeah, like I proper, like when I tell you I'm building a trade, I proper like sit down here for like 3 to 4 days, because I'm able to do a lot of stuff from home, and like I'll sit down here 3 to 4 days building a trade. I'll sleep a few hours, just to make sure that, okay, do I have a perfect opportunity to add position size here and everything. So like I think the longest trade I built was about 6 days so far. And I let that trade run for how many days was it? Hang on. Was about 13 days, 14 days. Now, this was recently after the new system, obviously, But yeah, so regarding the XRP, there is rumors about them in preparation of moving their operations to the Middle East, which they would not be affected by the US sanctions or the SEC. Therefore, the case would have to be dropped if they move operations there. And there's talks that they are already planning that, and they are already in preparations of the office there. I could be wrong. I stand to be corrected.
You will be.
Yeah. So that's what I
heard. We will actually see, right, how this plays out. So, but I think it will be interesting this year. If not this year, they probably could postpone it and just wait till the next year. But I think it will be this year. We'll see.
No, but it's funny you mentioned that, because that's one of the coins I'm looking to get exposure to again soon. To just kind of have a small bag there, just in case, because they have such good potential in terms of their technicals. The only thing which I would say is that they're a bit, by the time the case kind of settles out and everything, it might be a bit late. In terms of their technology.
Could be. Could be.
Oh, bro, I'm looking at it. 0.6 would be a nice buy.
That's my over. Okay, man. I got one more question.
Yes.
Metaverse, GameFi, and the Web3 this year. How do you see it?
I actually can't speak about any of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not interested at all?
Not that. I'm kind of tied to a company which is involved with that.
Okay.
So therefore, I'm unable to speak about it. And also, I am not very well knowledgeable about it, but also I can't talk about it.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
No problem. We can drop the topic about it. So it's.
But a lot of interesting projects coming up and a lot of different things going on. That seems, I think, recently there's a lot of huge things about DeFi farming. I think. It's quite interesting. That's one thing I'm going to be doing tonight. Actually, is studying up on that. Seems to be a lot of money to be made there.
Could be. Yeah. It's a fun thing about this because maybe not the DeFi, but a while back ago, because on the Blood server, I'm actually responsible for the news section, and I think it was about 2 months ago, I dropped the news about the step-in. There is an application that you can use just when you go outside and just
yes,
just collect your steps and you
get paid.
Yeah, you get paid if you got the tokens on the. I think you need to move the tokens to the app or something like this, the wallet to the app. I'm not sure because I just read the news, right?
Yeah, so
and
I
I
actually
posted
read
them.
it. I saw it also. So like you need to have the NFT of the sneaker or something like that, and then like you have to have the app, and then you walk a certain amount, and you get paid to walk it based on the steps. That's quite cool.
Yeah, it is, and I posted those news like almost 2 months ago or something like this. I don't remember, but I think it was actually in February.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that actually people don't mostly don't read the news and don't dig in it, right? And I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, this whole trend with Steppen started on crypto Twitter.
Yes, that's where I saw it.
Yeah. So if you guys would read those news, you will be like, all before the crypto Twitter. But fuck it. Anyway, we're gonna drop those topics for now. I got 2 more questions. Actually, those will be short. If you could give one advice to the new traders, the people that are coming and starting with the crypto, what would it be?
Learn to lose.
Learn to lose. That's a fucking good advice. Actually, it is. Learn to lose. Yes, learn to lose.
Unless you lose, if you start on a winning streak, right? And this was the biggest thing which happened to me. I started on a winning streak, right? Because we were in a downtrend, right? That's when I started trading. I started trading in the May crash, right? Downtrend. So, and I had absolute no knowledge about trading, technical analysis, nothing, right? I woke up, I placed a short position on high leverage, came back 20 minutes later, my position was in huge profits, right? Because we were in a constant downtrend, right? But then, of course, market bottomed, market reversed, I shorted support, got liquidated. Shorted support, liquidated. So, learn to lose.
Learn to lose.
Because so that hit me hard because I started feeling like I was an idiot, which I was, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was gambling without an edge, without risk management, right? And
very important topic. Very important topic.
So after losing all that and now learned and even come to the point where I've developed my own system, which until now, I've probably had a success rate of so out of this how many trades did I take? Last month I took 5 trades. I think I took 1 loss because I paper-handed the trade too early, right? And then this month I've taken 4 trades. I've taken 1 loss, right? So now I'm on my 5th and 6th trade, which is my Bitcoin and Ethereum long, right? And the biggest thing which helps me was all that losses, because I'm kind of somewhat emotionalist. So even if the trade goes under, I could sit underwater in that trade for 4 days. Even though my invalidation hasn't reached, I can sit underwater, because to me, I know I've lost that money already. It means nothing to me, right? Learn to lose, right? You're not going to win all the time, right? But when you lose, I think this is the most important part about losing. Know when to walk away. Walk away.
Walk away. Yeah.
Like yesterday, after I closed my trade in a loss, I looked at the data again. I was like, no, I'm not wrong. I'm correct. And I opened the trade again. And I was talking to my friend, and he was like, bro, this is not your style. You know this. I know this. Close the trade. And I closed it and I went out for a walk. He was like, listen, go for a walk. Like, he put me in my place because he knows my style really well. Like, he's been following me for a bit. Like, we've been talking and, we've been working very closely the whole time. And he was like, this is not your style. Stop it. So like sometimes he puts me in check, and that's just the emotions, because I was so confident that, we kind of reached the bottom, but something wasn't feeling right. And I was like, you know what, we'll just take the loss and we'll move on, right? And funny enough, we actually bottomed, so I panicked, essentially. I just didn't trust myself because of all the noise. And this is what I mean. It can be tough sometimes, but learn to lose.
Learn to lose. Good advice. Very good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. So, actually, also answered my second question, but what's the meaning of life in one sentence, if you could say? What's the meaning of life?
What's the meaning of life?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
You know what?
Just go with it.
It's actually not. It's the meaning of life is what you make of it. Life is what you make of it. Therefore, the meaning of life is what you think life should be. And I think, like you said, I've understood it. Create your own thesis. So in regards to trading, you create your thesis, trust it, and stick with it. Same thing with life. You have a perspective of what life should be for you and what will make you happy. Go for it. Do what you need to do to achieve it. And everything else around you is just noise. Because at the end of the day, it's your life.
It's your life. Yeah. Very good advice. Very good advice, man. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think it was more than an hour. It was fun, man. I really appreciate that you could be my guest on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So once again, guys, if you want to check it out, just go Genesis Crypto Vape, and you can find them on Twitter, and they got website, and I definitely recommend their magazine. It's a free newsletter. You just subscribe to it with your email, and I will just send it to you. And it's
we'll
awesome.
Send you the latest copy when you subscribe via email. We are actually just currently rebuilding the website, like the magazine page, so that all the previous magazine versions, editions would be there, so people would be able to download it. So give us a few days. We're currently working on that with our web designer, and then that should be available for everyone. So you'll be able to download all the different editions we've had.
Great. Okay, so that's amazing. Thank you again. Thank you, guys, for listening, and have a good one.
Want more crypto world? Join our community at bloodgang.com. Follow us on Spotify and stay tuned for the next episode. Learn, earn, then give back.